Hi guys, this is my first YouTube video on this channel. So in today's video, we'll be implementing google-sso with React and TypeScript. So we'll set up the React app using Vite, and we'll have a basic app setup wherein we'll have a login page which will have the google-sso, and once the user logs in with his Google account, he'll be redirected to the home page, and home page will show the user information that you will get from the Google's JWT token. And we'll make sure we also add a logout button, and we'll create this entire authentication workflow. So let's get started. So we'll be using these packages for our google-sso setup. So this first package will help us, to configure our Google client with our web application, and also, give us the google-sso button. JWT decode we'll use to decode the payload of the JWT that Google would provide us on sign in. Then we'll use universal cookie, to store that JWT so that we can maintain a session for the user. And we'll use React Router DOM, for our routing in the app. So yeah, so about this package, we can just check their npm homepage, and here, as you can see, they provide us with a provider, and we have to just wrap it around our app, and we have to just provide a client ID. So the first thing we need to do is create a Google client. So that we can do in the API and services section here. So before we go ahead, let me just create a project first. So click here and then click on create a new project. So let me name this project Google demo and create. Okay, now before creating credentials, let me go and set up our OAuth consent screen. So click here on OAuth consent screen, select external and click on create. Your app name, you cannot add a string. Sometimes if you add just a normal string, it will throw you an error that there's some error occurred while saving. So what you have to do is you have to copy the project ID that you see here and add it, and then what you can do is, hopefully this will work. So let me add developer contact information. Oops, let me copy this same email. Hopefully it's copied now. Yes, so let me save and continue. So here you can add or remove scopes. For now, just save and continue. Then we can add a test user if you want. I'm not going to add here, so let's save and continue. So this is summary. So go back to the dashboard. Now what we can do is go to credentials and click on create credentials. We want a OAuth client ID, so click on that. Select the application type as a web application and give your web client name. I'll give it google-sso client. Authorized JavaScript origin. So here, this is really important. So what we need to add here is, since we are going to work on localhost and I'm using Vite, it will be 5173. And let's add HTTP as well. Then also we'll add redirect URI. We'll keep it the same. Hope this works. Let's create. So on clicking create, this is really very important. Of course, after the demo, I'll be deleting the client secret and client ID. So here what you can do is copy this and keep. Even this you need to copy and keep. Okay, so make sure you all have it. So now we have the client also ready. So now what I'll do is let's quickly set up the Vite app. So let me open git bash. So I have already created a folder. Let me cd into that first. So let me create a Vite app here. So for that you need to type npm init Vite and put a dot because I want the app to be in the directory I'm in, and select React, and since we are going to use TypeScript, click enter. Cool. Now let me npm install. Now this is going to take a bit of time. Okay, it's finally done installing. Now what I'll do is I'll open VS Code in this folder. And here you can see the entire project. Yes, I trust you. Okay, so now the first thing we do is the packages that I told you. Let's install all of those. So let me get it up here, copy all of this. It's not gonna work like that. So we need data cookie, code, we need universal cookies. Was it cookies or cookie? Cookie, and of course React. Okay, cool. So now we have all our packages that we need. So let's start from main because that is the entry point, and what we'll do is, as they showed in the documentation, right, we'll try to wrap it with the Google provider here. So let's copy this directly and paste it here. Let's use this. Let's format it. Here we have wrapped our Google Earth provider, but now it's showing a red squiggly line. This is because it's expecting a proc called as client ID. Okay, so now it's white, but you know what, we have to add our client ID here. So remember, we created a client and this is the client ID. So this is like the public key which Google will use, and it already has the secret key with itself, and we'll try to decrypt everything using this public key. So yeah, let's add it here. Of course, this is a really bad practice. What you have to do is always you have to create a .env file and add that here. So for Vite, you have to always start the name of the env variable with Vite, and then you can add whatever your name is. So let me add Google client ID, and then let's paste it here. Great. So now how to import it? So the way to import it is import dot meta dot env and dot. Now you can add that name. You can just copy it from here and paste it here. So now TypeScript is throwing us an error saying that it is any, but since client ID is accepting a string, so let's confirm and tell it that yes, it's a string. So now the error goes away. Now let me go to our app component. What we want to do is we want to set up our routing using React Router DOM. So what I'll do is I'll remove all this boilerplate code. Oops. Let me remove this as well. This, and again here what I'll do is I'll get the browse router from React router DOM. Browser router, yes, and wrap my app component with it. Now let me go here and use routes. Oh, it's not giving me us auto suggest, is it? It's fine. Let's import this from the hell is it? Let's import this from React router now. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll also get route from React router DOM, and it takes a path which is home page. Okay, and first what we'll do is we'll build the login page. So, and we'll give the element as login. Now it's saying cannot find name because I have not created a login page. So what I'll do is I'll create a new folder called pages, and there I'll create a new file called login.tsx. Make sure that you name the component with the capital letter starting, otherwise React will throw an error. So yeah, we have this set up. Now let's import it here. Great. So now we have a login route set up. Now what I'll do is I'll try running the app npm run dev r. So this will start my app. As you can see, we cannot see anything here because I'm on the home page and we have not defined a page or a route for that. And if I go to login, we can see the login page. So let me build the login page now. Let me go to login, and what I'll do is I'll add an h1 tag and say login. Yes, great. And now what we'll do is we'll get the button from this Google login. Okay, so we can use this Google login. And the way we need to set it up is it's just a component, as you can see here. So, and let's see what drops it takes on success. So on success, what we want the Google login, what we want it to do. So what we'll do is we'll add a function that will trigger on success, and it's throwing an error that is not defined. I'll create the function here, and it will get a response which will be of type credential response. That's from the same package that we get. And what I'll do is I'll try to console log the response first, just so that we are sure that. Great. So now let me go and check, and maybe we can push the user as well to the home page. So okay, let's even create the home page for that matter. So let me go pages, new file, home.tsx. CSS home page. And now, yeah, I think that's enough. I'll go to the app and create another route, which will be our home page. Great. So yeah, here I want to push the user to the home page on sign in. So let me oh, it's again not giving me auto suggest. Okay, so let me navigate to slash. Okay, let me add a line space here and here. Let's tidy up. Okay, so now let's see what our login page looks like. So as you can see here, we can see a sign in with Google button. So let's do one thing. Let's add localhost also as one of the origins, and let's save. Let's save. Oh, so yes, I think it's solved now. So the only thing that I did was I added this as well. Okay, great. So let me go here. Let me click on this and let me select my account. Click on confirm. As you could see, we were pushed to the home page, and here, since we logged the response, we're logging here. So here, as you can see, the credentials key here is nothing but a JWT that we require. So what I'll do is I'll copy this. Let me go to JWT decode, jwt.io. Let me add my string here, and as you can see, we get all the information related to this email. Great. So we can use this JWT to get the payload as well as to store it inside a cookie, and create our session. So now what I'll do is on login, what we want to do is we want the user's cookie to get stored. So let me so here set name of the cookie, I'll keep it as token, and here the value. Let's stringify the credentials. So this will now be the token, and what we can do is we can set the max age. Since here, as you can see, the expiry time is 1 hour after the issue time, so we'll set the max age as well. So it takes in seconds, so we'll add 3600, which is 1 hour in seconds. So this will automatically remove the cookie and will be logged out. So yeah, we'll be pushed to the home page. In the home page, what we want to do? Okay, so now let's try to build the authentication logic. So every time now we know that we have a cookie stored, okay, called as token. So now every time what we want to do is in our protected routes, we want to check if a token exists. I mean to say if that cookie exists. So if that cookie exists, okay, great, then show him that page. Otherwise, push him to the login page. So in order to do all of this, what we can do is simply in the use event, what we can do is try to get the stored cookie. So here what I'll try to do is, again I'll have to create an object for cookies. Oops. Give me. It's not giving me auto suggest. Okay, and now what we'll do is we'll use these cookies and we'll do a get and we'll get the token. So this will be the token. So here it's again throwing an error. Okay, so this will be a string. So what I'll do is this won't throw an error now. Okay, great. So what we can do is now we will check if this token exists. So if the token doesn't exist, what we want to do is we want to push the user to the login page. So for that again I need the navigate object. I don't know why it's not giving me auto suggest today. Weird. I'll type it myself. So here now I will navigate the user to back to the login page because it does not have access. Okay, you can ignore these warnings by adding yes link, and since this is related to React hooks, I'll add React hooks. Yeah, so as you can see the warning has gone now. Okay, so now what this will do is if we are not logged in, and if we are not logged in that means we do not have that cookie, and if we try to go and navigate to the home page, this use effect will get triggered and we will check if the token exists. I mean to say if the cookie exists, and then if it doesn't, then it will push him or push me back to the login page. So let's see it in action. So currently if we go to the application tab and go to cookies, let me clear all the cookies. Okay. As you can see, we are pushed to the home page, and let's see if we have a cookie here, which is a JWT token. So great. Also, we must make sure that if the user is logged in, we shouldn't let him go back to the login page. So currently he's able to go to the login page because we do not have any checks. So let me do one thing. Yeah, let me go to the login page, and we'll have a similar use effect there as well. So what we'll do is we will check if the token exists, and if the token exists, we'll push him to the home page. So this is just the opposite of what we're doing there. This auto suggest. So yeah, let's now make this as token, then this as home page. Okay, so now what we need to do is, I'll just show you now. If currently the token exists, so now if I go back to the login page, I'll be pushed back to the home page. Great. And same thing, suppose I didn't delete the token. Currently we have not added the logout yet. Let me delete it manually. And if I refresh, as you can see, I'm pushed to the login page. And if I try to forcefully go to the home page, also I'm pushed back to the login page. So yeah, what we can do is here, instead of using this for each of your page, you can create a wrapper. Okay, and in that wrapper you can add this repeating logic and maybe call it protected route, and then you can wrap that wrapper around the pages that you want to be protected. Okay, so that will be great. Since this is a small project, I'm not doing it now. Okay, so now the only thing remaining is the logout functionality. So what I want to do is, I want to add a logout button. So let me add a button and call it logout. Let me keep that h1 saying it's home. If I log in, we have a logout button, great. And what I'll do is, again, go back to the package, and here they have the logout functionality. Take this, and what I want to do is just on click, I want to trigger this. I don't want to directly trigger this. I want to make my custom function because I need to do some extra things as well. So what I'll do is I'll write it here. Oops. What I'll do is, so here when we say logging out the user, of course the user will get logged out, and what we want to do on our app side is we want to delete the cookie that we have. So what we have to do here is cookies.remove, and the cookie name is token, so it will remove that cookie. Then what we want to do is logout. We need to use the Google logout function and navigate to the login page. Great. So now let's see this in action. We go here, let me open the application tab, Control-Shift-I to open the console. So here we have the token. So once I click on logout, see, we are redirected to the login page, and there is no cookie called as token. So we have the entire functionality working. So now the only thing remaining is showing the user details on the home page from the payload that we get. So what we will do is, since we get the token here, what I'll do is I'll create a state called as user. Again, there is no to suggest working here. Great. And since, okay, so this is going to be tricky. Here we know what all things we are going to get from the payload. So what I'll do is I'll create an interface using the same. Since we are using TypeScript, let's take advantage of TypeScript. So what I do is remove this. And all of these are strings, okay, so except the issue date and expiry time. So what we'll do is, and this is the boolean of course, so let's give them the types. String, this will again be a string, this will 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 be a boolean, this will be a string, this will be a string, this will be a string, this will be a string. This is actually of type, okay, we'll give it a type of date, and this is again a string. Great. So now we have the user object, and what we'll do is user interface. We'll add this here, and that's it. Great. So now what we want to do is, since here we are getting the token, right? So what we'll do is we'll use JWT decode to decode the token that we pass here, and whatever we get, we set it to the user. And of course we don't want TypeScript yelling at us. And oh, so I think it's not needed. So great. Now we get the user set here, and what we can do is now leverage the information. So maybe I create a div here, and inside that div I have maybe 3 paragraph tags. Oh, how is this working? Yeah. So here maybe we show user dot maybe name, which is the entire name here, user dot email, and here we need to show the picture also as well, so we can do that. What we do is we do it above here. That is user dot, where did it go? Here. So now let's go back and let's see what is visible. So here, as you can see, we can see the user information entirely. So now let us like demo the entire application once and see the flow. So here we have the user currently logged in, so we have the cookie stored here as token. Once I click on logout, what will happen is we will clear this cookie, and also we will use the logout button that the Google package gives us, and we push the user to the login page. See, now on login, what happens is you have a pop-up that where you can select your account. Once you select your account, you get a response, and inside that response there is a key called as credential, which we set into this token because that is the JWT token. And after that we read this JWT token using JWT decode and get the user information. So this was the entire Google SSO application. I hope you liked the video and you got to learn something from it, and I'll keep coming up with something unique and some interesting videos up ahead. And make sure you code hard and enjoy coding. So yeah, happy coding guys. Bye bye, see you all.